most attractive, if you will, rats. Female rats, I mean. Most attractive
female rats.
Yeah, it had like
somebody's out there saying, no, that's not an attractive female rat, but that one is.
Oh, for sure. What do they call it today? The gooners. Maybe they live in their little hidey hole and just jerk off all day.
Oh, interesting.
But then there'd be like the gym rat bros or gym bro rats, and
I need to see this.
Yeah, they just fight each other all day, and it evolved into chaos. Hello, and welcome to the Lateral Move podcast. We are your hosts, Tony
and Harrison. In this podcast, we talk about life and life decisions. We talk about the good decisions and the bad decisions, but we mostly talk about the mediocre decisions.
So first, I want to talk about the Matt Rife comedy special, people getting offended over comedy. I'm just saying I want to talk about that because I think that kind of thing is important to talk about.
Well, I have opinions on it too.
Well, good. You can share your opinion.
No, my opinions are fine, I think. I don't really understand.
I mean, I understand, maybe you don't find
domestic
violence
funny.
Jokes funny, sure, but like, it's a comedy special.
Yeah,
it's not him walking up and just going to a waitress and then laughing about it.
Yeah, or making fun of her right there.
It's not, yeah.
Like you go to a comedy special knowing that there's going to be some things said that you shouldn't say.
You can't open a comedy special or go to a comedy show and then get offended by the jokes.
Yeah.
Like you go in.
That's the point. Laugh. That's the point of the jokes. Like that's why he gets publicity. The people who hate him are what make him more famous.
Yeah. And then I don't know how much you caught of it at lunch today, but he put an apology link on his Instagram story.
Yeah, you said that.
It was so funny because it literally linked to special needs helmets, like the little padded helmets that they wear.
Yeah.
Like, it's so funny. That's awesome. Like, don't back down. It's a comedy special. You shouldn't be apologizing for making jokes at your comedy special.
Yeah.
And you watch it, and the whole audience was, laughing about it the whole time. Like, you know what? Why would you ever be offended by something at a comedy special?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's just...
Should just not be offended by anything anyone says, because nobody's opinion is worth a damn thing to you.
Yeah.
At least not for me. Or at least I'd like it to not be.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's...
Good point.
Yeah.
There's, I follow, Isaac Butterfield on YouTube, and he's an Australian comedian, and he gets canceled all the time, like, consistently.
How can he be canceled more than once?
Well, because he doesn't care, so he just keeps going on with what he's doing. But, like, he's offended the vegans and, cyclists, and, it's a bunch of people who, don't matter.
Yeah.
The whole world would be better off without. But that's beyond the point. It's just he'll make his jokes, and then people get offended by it, and they'll try and cancel him. And all that does is bring more attention to him and what he's doing.
Yep.
And so many people like him.
All publicity is good publicity. Or any publicity, yeah.
I think people forget they have the option to, not go to comedy things and not click on comedy things. You see people bitching about it, why are you going to then go click on it?
Yeah, because it just gets, even more views. Even if it's a view of you not liking it, it's still a view. And then the algorithm sees that, and then more people are going to see it.
Mm-hmm. So, your Thanksgiving was good?
Yeah, Thanksgiving was pretty good. All the food was good. Saw a lot of family, which is good and overwhelming at the same time. So, your Thanksgiving was all right. You had a quiet one.
Yeah, it was fine. I worked, and then I had lasagna. I'm just by myself, just chilling.
That sounds good to me.
Oh, yeah. Lasagna was good, too. So that's, right there. Boom. Perfect.
Perfect, yeah.
Could not think of a better Thanksgiving.
My grandma.
I could, but for where I'm at in life right now, it's perfect.
Well, good. My grandma makes the best sweet potatoes. That's my favorite Thanksgiving meal. It has been since
just like
first
a regular potato, not like sweet mashed potatoes or sweet potato casserole or something.
I guess I don't know. We just call them sweet potatoes. So, but it's basically a large orange mush. Okay. And there's just a shit ton of butter and brown sugar.
Nice.
And
that sounds like a sweet potato casserole.
That's probably what it is. But
yeah, that's I'm not a huge fan of sweet potatoes, but I'll give you that.
Well, it's like
I love sweet potato casserole.
It's probably
one of
like
the things-
65% brown sugar, and then the rest.
Oh yeah.
The rest of it is sweet potatoes. So.
Yeah, I mean, even when I'm eating a regular sweet potato, I gotta put. I don't do sugar on it. I do cinnamon, but like just something to give it a little kick.
Yeah.
But yeah, sweet potato casserole. You get that nice like brown sugar caramelized on there.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Pretty
very
good.
nice.
Or there's corn casserole's good too. My great aunt makes some of that.
Corn's such a waste of time.
I feel like, yeah, I don't.
You just poop it back out.
Yeah, I know, but it tastes
You
good.
can't digest it in the slightest.
It tastes good at least. But turkey is like the funny thing. Like everyone I ask, like, you like turkey, and they're kind of like, like
Yeah.
it's okay, but it's a little dry.
It's no one's favorite.
Yeah, it's funny that we
You know, I really like ground turkey.
ground turkey
It's
is
just-
okay. Yeah,
Because it's almost exactly the same as ground beef, except with a lot less fat.
yeah, but the
So it's
fat's what makes
arguably-
it good.
Well, it depends what you're cooking. You know, if you're just gonna do a cheeseburger, you
some
want something
fat.
with a little bit more fat so that you can get the flavor and the juices.
Yeah,
But if you're doing, I don't know, tacos, I could go without a big greasy taco, so long as the meat tastes good.
yeah,
You put an appropriate rub on there, taco seasoning or whatever you want to call it. As long as it tastes good, I could go without meat or without the grease just dripping all over everything. Like it's a handheld. I don't want to be just covered in stuff.
I suppose. I thought it was really funny. The guy, the Uber driver that took me to the airport to go home for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
He
I thought
was
You had a ride.
no.
Oh, you mean like from back home to the airport to fly here, or from here
No,
to
from
go to the airport?
here to go to the airport.
I would have taken you.
I know you would have taken me, but it was a chaotic morning.
Oh,
Anyway, and it was a funny conversation with the Uber driver. It kind of sucked. It kind of goes back to last week with the lateral move in college being shitty because he was an Eckerd College alumni.
Nice.
And like nothing against him, but
You know what year?
he said like class of 87, I think. So back when it was like
Yeah.
really fun.
Yeah, a little before my parents went there.
Yeah. But I was just kind of like, shit, dude, you went to the same college as me, and now you're driving Ubers. He seemed like like a happy guy, and like, so
Yeah.
it was just a small thought that I had. Well, I don't really want to be driving Ubers, but maybe that's what you do with a degree in philosophy from Eckerd College.
Hey, it could be. I don't know. I want to do Uber, not Uber driving, but like Uber Eats or what's the other one there? The
DoorDash or whatever.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like, because that's something you can do in your spare time of like, hey, I've got nothing going on, like no plans at all, especially like where I'm at in life where I don't have, anyone that I need to do anything with or for.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, why not go make a couple bucks?
It's a little side hustle for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So is this. A little side hustle. It's exactly what it needs to be. Make a little bit of money. It's relatively low effort.
Relatively, yeah.
Relatively.
But the reason I brought him up was because one thing that came up during our conversation was that turkey is not very good, and his family cooks like really nice roasted chicken. I don't know,
Nice.
that's just where my brain went. So
Yeah. My dad, when he does the turkey, he'll take it out like a week early and let it defrost. But then he'll also, I don't know if it's every year, but at least some years, he'll do it and like let it marinate for a couple days in like one of his own recipes. And then he'll get up super early in the morning because we don't eat super early. And I saw something about this, and I'll ask you in a second. We don't eat super early in the afternoon. Usually it's around 3. So he'll get up, for 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock and put the turkey on a smoker for like the entire day.
nice.
And then he finishes it off in the oven. But,
Sounds pretty good to me.
Oh, it's fantastic.
It's not dry. Is it dry still? Like every time I eat a
it's not
turkey, it's dry.
No. I mean, maybe like the very edges of like the breast, but it's also got the skin on it, and that's pretty
Nice.
good.
It probably looks good too, just like on the
Oh,
table or wherever.
It's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
But
Have you
it's-
seen where people like it was a long time ago? Like I remember being pretty young when my dad was telling me about it in the news, but people like to like fry their turkeys. So they'd get like these big vats
deep
and
fry 'em,
they deep fry them and they'd fill the vat all the way to the top with oil, heat that up, like get it hot, and then you'll dunk the turkey in. And like if you ever put ice in a glass of water, it overflows, and then you light your house on fire. Like,
I've seen some of those videos. People are so stupid sometimes.
yeah.
It's like when you hold a firework in your hand and light it off. Like, what do you lose your fingers. What do you expect to happen?
Mm-hmm.
It's just common sense there. But when does your family eat Thanksgiving dinner?
This year we ate at 1. I was
Okay.
lucky enough. My grandma cooked literally everything.
Nice.
So my family was super chill. We just woke up in the morning, had an easy morning, drove to her house.
Well, I saw that some people eat like super early, and I guess it probably depends on if you watch the football games also.
Oh, yeah.
But some people eat like Thanksgiving dinner at like 11:30 in the morning. And the justification I heard for it was you eat that early, and then afterwards you go and you get your plate or 2 plates or whatever it is, and then you kind of just snack the rest of the day.
Yeah.
And you can go watch your thing, you can go Black Friday shopping and everything like that.
I've never gone Black Friday shopping.
I have gone approximately 3 times, and it is
Yeah.
not worth it at all in the slightest.
I saw some video online, and I can't remember the name of the actual store, but it was similar to like a Radio Shack, if you know what Radio Shacks are. And, which I don't know when the last time I saw an actual Radio Shack was, but...
Well, they went out of business like 10 years ago.
Okay, so it's 10 years.
ago.
Anyways, they were like recording like Black Friday, like opening the doors on Black Friday for their big sale.
Yeah.
And literally one person came in the door. It was like I think it was for a news channel too. It was funny. But with everything like being online they're not out of business?
It looks like they got bought by someone, and they were at least open through 2020, or at least owned by this company through 2020. So, I don't know. Yeah, Black Friday, my dad was talking about it, and he said that companies kind of shot themselves in the foot last year about it, because, well, at least the big ones, like Target and Walmart, what they did, instead of having Black Friday deals on Black Friday,
they did Cyber
Black
Monday.
Friday. Well, yeah, but they did Black Friday deals through the week leading up to Black Friday.
Oh, yeah, I've been getting ads
then-
for sales since like over a week ago.
Yeah, but then no one came on Black Friday, and they just kind of shot themselves in the foot because no one knew what was on sale or when.
Yeah.
And then this year, I went to Walmart to look for something, and
Not a tutu.
there was literally 3 things, like 3 displays in Walmart.
3 displays of what?
Black Friday deals.
Oh, just 3 Black
displays.
Friday deals?
And it wasn't like a whole big shelf of
I thought, like,
displays.
I always
It was
pictured-
like the things they put in the aisles that's made out of cardboard.
That they throw all the DVDs into?
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically.
No, I've never been Black Friday shopping, so I always assumed that literally every single thing in the store was on sale, but that's not the case.
It probably depends where you go, but generally no.
Oh.
At least a couple years ago, I say a couple, probably like 10 years ago, when I went with my parents, it was, they had lines out the door,
Yeah.
wrapping around the building and stuff. We went to Toys R Us one year. That was
Nice.
crazy.
Yeah, but
But no, it was just like they kind of have to set it up with a map. Usually is how it was. So you'd come in and they'd have a little stand with maps so that you can see where each deal is going on. But it's just like the main aisles have stuff, but it's like everything. And then as time has gone on, they've gradually just shrunk everything down. And now there was like 3 displays, and it was just you walk in and you go to the left to the first main aisle, and you go up, and then you make the little U-turn to come to the next big aisle, and then that's it. I looked.
Weird.
I was like, "Where's the rest of it?"
why did we ever
wasn't
even...
here.
Why is Black Friday even a thing? Do you know? Like for Christmas? Or is
I
it,
don't
like, are they
know.
trying to get rid of all the old shit before the new stuff comes in for the next year?
I think the actual origins, at least of the name, was that companies would be in the red, as in they haven't broke even
Yeah.
until probably around then.
Okay. That
And
would be
then-
kind of stressful.
And then Black Friday, and then Black Friday is the day that they would become black. They'd go in the black on their books. I think that was
Alright. Well, I
Yeah,
thought it was
there's
supposed to
something
be
like
red.
that.
I thought it was always red and then you're in the green. But was it?
not in accounting. In accounting, it's black.
Oh.
For pretty much everything else, though, it's green. It would make sense if it was in the green, but no, it's just black.
Green
Red-
Friday doesn't sound as good, so
It doesn't.
yeah. Sounds like a shitty name for St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, I think another part of it, I don't know why it doesn't have anything to do with why it's called Black Friday, but probably part of it as to why it is where it is families get together for Thanksgiving.
They tell everybody what they want for Christmas.
They have a long weekend.
And you're like,
right after you see everyone, and you know what everyone wants.
Yeah.
And with a long weekend.
Yeah.
You know, it's what else are you gonna do? Well, I'm gonna go shop. I have
Spend
nothing else
some
going on
money.
today.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you can strategically place it on that Friday.
That is pretty. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the thought process.
And if that's not, that's what they should tell everybody it is, because that would be much smarter.
Yeah.
I think.
It would be a really good way to cover up whatever nasty shit it really is for. Yeah. Black Friday conspiracies. I wonder if there are any Black Friday conspiracy theories.
There has to be. I wonder if you could, not if you could, if there is a conspiracy around why the deals are shrinking every year.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously part of it is, the big corporations have you wrapped around their finger. What are you going to do? Go to a small store? Guess what? There are none.
Yeah. BlackRock, whatever. Everything is owned by,
BlackRock and Vanguard and
have you seen
whatever the other one is.
Yeah, have you seen those videos where people go into the grocery store and put sticky notes on so they have all the brands in the aisle, and they'll put the color coordinate sticky notes for each of the bigger brands. I think Johnson & Johnson was one of the bigger ones. I can't remember the other ones. But you go into the aisle and there'll be 20 brands, but there's really only 3 colors of sticky notes.
Yeah. I've never seen one with sticky notes because that sounds like a lot of work. But someone just took a big video and then edited in all the colors.
Yeah.
There's yellow, there's blue, there's green, and then there's one purple up there.
Yeah.
There's 2 boxes.
Yep.
I think it was cereal.
Cereal. I've seen cereal ones.
And Kellogg's and whatever. And there's you get all the different brands, but really they're all General Mills, and then all the different brands, but they're all Kellogg's, and then whatever. And then there's the 2 keto ones.
Yeah.
And it's oh, well, that makes sense.
Or the ones from the small family-owned farm, and that one costs 3 times as much as the rest of them. Yeah. Yeah, and it tastes like shit.
It's on the very top shelf.
Because we're all used to
it if you want to.
Yeah, it tastes like ass because we're all used to all the sugar and stuff.
Yeah. What else are you gonna do? So it's like Walmart, and they come in, undercut prices because they're willing to take the loss for 2 years, drive all the brick and mortar stores out, and then they're where are you gonna go shopping now?
Yeah, I see that happen all the time or not anymore because it already happened, but in Nebraska.
Yeah.
You drive through all the small towns and there'd be a cute little hardware store and cute little clothing store and all these things, and then a Walmart comes in. Next summer you're driving through, or whenever you drive through again, all the little ones are gone. Walmart's big.
Sometimes I go out of my way to find other alternatives to Walmart and Target. I mean, I don't shop at Target anyways, but that's beyond the point. I'm broke. I gotta shop at Walmart. But if I can shop somewhere else, I would prefer to.
I should probably be more conscious about it, but I'm not. If I need something, I go to Amazon or Walmart.
Well, that's where it's the cheapest usually.
Yeah, which sucks, but
people are bad at money.
Yeah.
Especially as we've moved into more digital currency, and just moving away from the paper dollar. I saw a graphic today.
Everything went to shit when we got rid of, what was it called, the gold standard.
Yeah. But
maybe I don't really know much about it, but I've just heard that said before. So.
It was started before that, but that definitely didn't help because it started off 1912, I think. $1 had the purchasing power of $1.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Federal Reserve was introduced 1913, and then the Federal Reserve is a privately owned company which controls the entirety of the U.S. economy essentially because they own our money. They make money.
Because they own our money.
Because they own and manufacture all of the money. So they came in. Yeah.
I want to get in on that.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, you're not a Rothschild, so good luck with that.
Rockefeller.
So starting in 1913, I think, the value really started to go down. I'm sure there was...
Of the dollar, or of gold?
Of the dollar.
Of the dollar, okay.
Yeah, and then up and through 1944, it was on a steady, gradual decline. Somewhere in the mid-40s, it was on a gradual decline. And then in mid 1940s, they dropped the gold standard. Was it Lyndon B. Johnson, maybe? No, he was in the 60s.
I don't
know. I don't know which president it was.
I saw something where that was why JFK got assassinated, supposedly, because the CIA didn't like that he was going to bring back the gold standard or something like that.
Kitty Lyndon Johnson and the Kitty CIA.
Is that what it? I don't know.
Yeah, that's a conspiracy theory for sure.
Yeah.
But I like the Trevor Moore skit, from The Whitest Kids You Know.
Oh, hi.
It's so funny. But once we dropped the gold standard, then it just harsh drop. Mm-hmm. And right now it's kind of flattened out over time, over the last 20,
the value of the dollar.
Years. Yeah, it's still declining, but just it's a lot more gradual now. And we're at approximately 3 cents on the dollar of the value of a dollar.
3 cents.
Yeah.
So a dollar is actually worth 3 cents, but
basically it has the purchasing power of 3 cents compared to a dollar back in 1912.
Okay, yeah. When you say it like that, it makes more sense. That's crazy.
That's why you need to buy gold. I mean, even then, gold has no value.
Yeah.
If you really want to be that guy,
well,
gold
technically,
has no
nothing has any value.
Yeah.
We're just all spinning out here, little particles bumping into each other.
Exactly.
But yeah,
But buy gold, buy silver, buy precious metals, and really what you need skills as opposed to things.
Yeah.
Because while you can trade things, and that would be useful for food, if you can grow your own food, you don't have to rely on anyone else.
Or if I can fix something for you and you can give me some of the food that you grew.
Yeah, exactly. If you can build a house, there you go. You don't need anyone else.
Yeah.
That's really
I've seen on the internet a lot of people are, not a lot of people, maybe it's a niche community. So not a lot of people, but
sure.
There's some people out there who are into misprint bills and things like that, and those have some value to them just because they're
wrong.
They're wrong, yeah.
I have a couple of misprint coins.
Or misprint coins, sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to say I also have one quarter that's from the 40s, before they cut off the silver. So it's an actual silver quarter.
Cool.
I didn't know that, and I tried to use it in a vending machine, and the vending machine spit it back out.
Yeah.
And it's
good thing it did.
Yeah, at least I didn't lose this quarter. It's worth a couple bucks.
Yep. I've seen, you can get, the sequential bills. I saw somebody had a $100 bill. It was, the serial number. Is that it was, all 8s. Mm-hmm. I don't remember how much they said it was worth, but...
That would go for so much money in China.
Yeah, you think?
Oh, it would. I think it's China. Because they have a thing with number 8. And it's super lucky in their culture. So people will bid crazy numbers for the phone number 888-888-8888.
Oh yeah.
Crazy money. Anything with strings of 8s. It's just.
I had no idea that was a thing, but.
Yeah, it's the opposite of 13.
Okay.
13's an unlucky number, but 8 is super lucky, at least in China.
Cool.
Sorry, what about that sequential bills?
Oh, I don't have anything else to say. Just that, there's something that if you have a sequential bill and you actually listen to this podcast, don't use it.
Yeah. If you know what the sequence is, don't use it.
Yeah.
That's why when people rob banks, they're no sequential bills.
Mm-hmm.
No die packs.
Yeah. Well, I mean sequential bills and where the serial number itself is all the same number.
Oh,
Not where you have one bill and then the next one in line. That's probably something too, maybe, but. I mean, a $100 bill with straight
2
8s.
$100 bills with, the next number in line.
Yeah.
Someone's I'll give you $200.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, no, that's fun though.
Yeah.
Just looking for misprint coins. You're almost never gonna find one, and if you do, it's one that's already been found.
Yeah.
But people spend their whole lives looking for those.
Mm-hmm. It's a fun hobby, or a hobby, anyways.
It's 40K Warhammer 40K.
I don't know what that is.
That's a good question. I don't know how to describe it, but it's kind of I don't want to say it's like D&D because it's not role playing per se, but it's.
Oh, I just looked it up. It's a miniature war game produced by Games Workshop. Yeah. It's the most popular miniature war game in the world, particularly popular in the United Kingdom.
Yeah, but people will spend thousands and thousands of dollars on those little miniatures.
Yeah.
And just learning the lore.
That's so cool.
I've just heard about it in passing a lot, but the lore behind it apparently just goes absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
With because it's all like a tabletop game essentially. So the fact that people have spent so much time just like building out the stories of all the characters,
Yeah.
if you can call them characters, is just absolutely crazy. There's like hours upon hours worth of information out there about the different factions and races and
Yeah.
just the different people in the game.
It's pretty cool. Like,
Yeah, I would take that hobby over like drawing anime.
okay, but would you when you started talking about it, I was thinking like Pokemon cards. What do you think?
I can't get behind Pokemon cards either. I understand, I just can't get behind them for myself.
Yeah.
I never cared for Pokemon that much, or Digimon, or
Yeah.
what was that other one there?
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yu-Gi-Oh. Yeah.
I liked Yu-Gi-Oh. I liked watching the TV show with my friends.
I
But
don't understand.
We had all
those.
we had all the cards. We didn't know what to do with them. Like
Yeah.
that wasn't the point.
Yeah, that exactly. Is I didn't ever understand it.
Yeah.
Like when I was able to watch it, I still am able to. But like when it was appropriate for me to watch it, I never really understood it. So
Yeah.
I just never got into it. It's the same thing with like video games, at least the first-person shooter multiplayer ones. I would always play them with my brother and my friends, but I was always the worst one.
Yeah.
I was like, "Fuck this, I'm out."
Yeah.
And then I didn't get into it until college.
No. Yeah.
I didn't really get into it until college.
Well, if you're interested, I looked it up. There's going to be a TV show for the Warhammer 40K. It's going to be on Amazon.
Oh, is it
Henry Cavill or whatever his
Henry
name is? Cavill? Yeah,
Yeah.
he's the producer.
I saw.
He's such a nerd. What was the other
is,
thing that he did?
yeah.
That's so cool. Like
He
he's super.
did the Witcher TV series.
The Witcher, that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, but then he got kicked off of that because he was too much of a nerd about it.
I heard about that.
That's
Yeah.
so funny. Like the producers and the writers kept trying to go off script and like change things, and he was like,
You can't
"No,
do that.
No, this is what it is.
Yeah.
This is how it's gonna be. You're either gonna write or I'm gonna leave." And then I haven't heard anything about that show since.
It's on Netflix, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never watched it. I tried to play the game, and I got to like the first monster, and it killed me twice. What?
Which game?
The Witcher 3.
Okay.
And like I got to some like it was like a wolf or something in a cave.
I
It was like
haven't
right there. It was like
played
right
Witcher.
after the tutorial, right after the tutorial, and it just fucked me up like twice. So I just deleted the game.
Yeah. That's
Like,
awesome.
I'll re-download it if I want to play it later, but it was frustrating.
I'm sure. I tried to watch the TV series, and I just couldn't get into it because, as my friends pointed out who have played the games and read the books, you need to play the games and read the books before you can watch a TV series for it to make any sense, unless you
Yeah.
just want to watch Henry Cavill beat up a bunch of weird monsters and stuff.
Yeah,
So
I'm sure there are
you
people
just-
out there who want to do that, but
Oh yeah, I'm sure. There's a lot of action movies and stuff that I'll watch, and a lot of video game movies too. And it's like I don't really care for any of the stuff behind this, but like, look at that, you got vampires and werewolves fighting. That's good enough for me. What else do you need? It's good action.
mhm.
Now I will have one caveat to that. I do love Doom, the video game series.
Yeah,
I'm a mega nerd about it.
it's another game that made me very frustrated, and I deleted.
Oh, yeah, but it's awesome. If you can finish it, it is one of the best games, in my opinion,
I'll have to
ever
try it
made.
again.
Especially the 2016 and 2020 ones. Fantastic.
I can't remember which one I got.
Was yours like an actual?
It was
like,
before the
modern-
newest one, but it's still.
Okay, so it was probably the 2016 Doom.
I think so.
It like had the same graphics, so like modern graphics.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the other ones are they 8-bit? I don't think they're 8-bit. They're 64-bit maybe.
Oh,
Something like that.
like the original Dooms.
Yeah.
Those ones are so cool. Like you can run those on like the smallest of computers.
If it can
I
connect
saw-
to the internet and you can, watch graphics on it, you can play.
Yeah, do you know the Flipper Zeros?
Yeah.
The little like key fob things. You can play Doom on those. Somebody ported Doom to play it on that.
awesome.
Yeah, I don't know how well it works, but it's funny.
As long as you can look and you can shoot,
Yeah.
you're golden.
What about
That's all you need.
I like Duke Nukem.
That one's
That
fun,
one's
too.
funny.
That one's funny. Yeah.
The things he says, like I can't even think.
It's just like it's really more how he says it, not so much what he says.
Yeah.
It's funny to listen to him just say things. Like
He
people
says-
put in the voice AI stuff.
Yeah.
They say the stupidest things, but it's like,
Your ass is grass and I've got the weed whacker. You're an inspiration for birth control. That's something Duke Nukem says, apparently, according to Grab It magazine.
But what I was gonna say is, I hate the Doom movies with a passion.
I didn't know there were Doom
Because
movies.
they're both terrible. And the reason I think they're terrible is A, it changes the story, much like everything else video game wise, except for a select few things nowadays. But also, it's just not a good movie. So there's one from the 90s with The Rock.
Really?
Yeah.
No
It's
way.
The Rock and a group of people that I don't know who they are. And terrible movie. Absolutely terrible movie. And then there's one from a few years ago, and I think there was a Netflix one, but I could be wrong about that. But it's the same thing where they have like a group of people going in to fight, and they'll like just throw things in that's like it's the same name, or like they'll pull a gun from the game and use that. It's like it's cool to watch you use that, but like you're a team of people fighting and losing
That's not
to
Doom.
demons.
That's not Doom.
And yeah, and the demons are just like not fun to watch.
Ah.
You know, they're not cool. They're kind of just generic.
The whole thing about Doom is that you're all on your own and you're gonna get revenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played that much of it, or
Yeah.
enough of it to know that much.
Well, the original one, I mean, you're just a Marine. You're a space Marine, but you're a Marine
Yeah.
fighting on Mars, and they killed the rest of your team. Or
Oh,
your
okay.
platoon, squad. I don't know what the Marines call it. Squadron?
I don't know.
Whatever.
My there's a family friend that used to work for some sort of like cyber security thing. I'm not totally sure. I don't know a lot about computers, but he and his coworkers, they had like insanely powerful like computers.
Sure.
Like they spent all day every day just like plugging away at them, but then when they get off their shift at night, they'd essentially have like a LAN party. I don't know, like they'd all just like stay until late into the night, early morning playing Doom on these like super PCs.
That's awesome.
It's so cool.
That'd be such a fun thing to do. Have that kind of camaraderie with your coworkers.
Yeah. And I mean these guys, they would like hack into like they'd like I think it was freelance work for like the FBI and stuff. Like if they needed help
nice.
getting into somebody's blocked stuff, they could do that. So you do that all day and then you play Doom at night. Like
Yeah.
who knows what kind of stuff you might see during the day, but
See some CP on someone's computer, and just like, well, I don't know what that is. Did you see that one of Biden's people, his appointed people, was just caught in a big human trafficking ring?
no.
That's awesome.
I feel like I probably should have heard about that.
So many of Biden's people are just like freaks. You know, you got the one guy there that would dress in women's clothing, and then he ended up like stealing some woman's clothing from her bags in the airport, and then he got arrested for it because it was like a unique piece that was like professionally designed.
He intentionally stole it?
Yeah. And then he posted a picture of himself wearing it. And I'm like, why would you do that to yourself?
I have never heard this, but that's bizarre.
Just blows my mind, the kind of people that work in our government. I mean, on both sides, but like, the Biden administration is really bad.
I found a Washington Times article, and the headline says Biden family profited from human trafficking scheme. I don't know. I didn't read it, but
That's not the one I was thinking of. It's like one of his actual appointees was like just caught in it a few days ago.
well, I love how on this website, as I'm scrolling through trying to read the article, there's so many ads on it, and the largest one is for mail order weed. It is a real thing, and apparently it's amazing.
Yeah?
Yeah, but anyways, I don't know.
I thought you couldn't do that because it's illegal federally.
There's lots of loopholes as far as I know.
Well,
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, to each their own. I'm not gonna stop you.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you make a law, a federal law, and you fuck it up, and people take advantage of it, I mean, that's on you, dog.
Yeah, people complain about the tax loopholes and people, billionaires not paying enough in taxes, which is verifiably false. They pay a shit ton of money in taxes. Yeah. They just if you compare it percentage-wise they pay a much lower percentage, but they still account for like the top 50% in taxes.
Yeah.
Tax revenue. But yeah, they just use the loopholes. It's like, oh, what's that? I can take a loss and then deduct it from my taxes. Why am I not going to do that?
Yeah.
Oh, just because you don't have the forethought to do that, or you don't have the capacity to use this loophole, it's not my problem.
Yeah, I can't.
There, I'm gonna use it.
I can't sit here and say honestly that if I was a billionaire, I would not use those loopholes.
Yeah, it's there. You're not gonna get in trouble for using it. People aren't gonna like it, but it's there.
Yeah, close it.
It's like going to the gym. You're not gonna get in trouble for using it. It's there. You can better yourself. Just do it. Just take some action that's going to make yourself better today than you were yesterday. You don't have to go to the gym, but just something.
Read a book.
Yeah.
Read books are good.
Well, most books.
Yeah.
There's some books that definitely are going to help.
Read at least 30 pages of any book that you get.
Read at least 30 books.
At least 30 books. That'd be good. I saw some post where it was like a kindergartner and he got an award and it said like I read 1,000 books, and it's like, no the fuck you didn't. Like maybe it was, I don't know.
They're all picture books.
Yeah.
You're just sitting in the library flipping through them.
Mm-hmm.
Not even looking.
You
at
hear the
pictures.
wind like coming off of it as you're flipping through the pages. Yeah.
That'd be so funny.
Get a sticker for each one.
Yeah. You just walks home with several pounds of stickers. Mom, look what I did.
And your little Paw Patrol backpack.
Yeah. It's just tearing at the seams,
Yep.
trying to hold all the weight.
All your stickers, or even if you filled it up with picture books, those things are heavy because the pages are like 1/8 of an inch thick each.
Yeah, it's got to hold all that ink on there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's like reading and going to the gym in one thing, carrying that bag around. They should make all books with thick pages.
We could start a company that exclusively makes books, reprint every book.
Yeah.
Just with extra thick pages.
We should do that. What would we call it though? I don't know.
So I was working on homework earlier, and you remember that article for IJ we had to read about unthinkable thoughts?
No.
It was before the first essay.
Oh.
But I had to write a thing about it regardless. And what I wrote kind of leads into something I saw the other day about if you focus on something, then you're going to notice it more.
Oh,
in your
yeah.
life. Yeah. So the article had talked at one point about cancellations and call-outs as a form of power for marginalized groups.
Oh, right. I remember this.
Yeah. So basically, it's saying, if you're in a marginalized group, you can use the power of calling someone out for an action that you don't like as a form of, power to give yourself and your group of marginalized people power to kind of just bring attention to it and get other people on board with the idea that this action was wrong, it was discriminatory, it was, just whatever it is. And yeah, that's a good sentiment, but there needs to be some sort of restrictions in place with it.
Yeah.
Because at some point, you're just going to get into this competition, if you will, over who's the most discriminated and who can find the most things wrong in the world. And it's gonna go from being a tool of power to being an all-encompassing, corruption of the soul.
I pulled up the reading, and one of the quotes that I highlighted from it was, supremacy is our ongoing pandemic. It partners with every other sickness to tear us from life or from lives worth living. I feel like that's related to what you're talking about, basically.
Yeah. But then I saw something about depression and all the mental health disorders that we have nowadays, and I kind of related it back. Not like I did this afterwards, but
we can't all be on Capri Suns.
Yeah, make your grilled cheese at night.
Yeah. But what did you think about it?
So it was basically saying how people as we've gone on and people have decided to normalize things, those things have become increasingly more prevalent in society, which
Yeah.
I agree with. And I think, looking at depression and anxiety and the prescriptions that people get for those, I think it's all vastly overrepresented, overdiagnosed
Yeah.
in the first place. But on top of that, people have gone from, I'm so sad, I'm gonna commit, to, I had a bad day, I must be depressed.
Yeah.
And it's having normalized it, in the same way of, just going out of your way to find something, has taken, most aspects of the human condition and turned them into some sort of a diagnosable illness.
Yeah, that's super.
People end up just going from like, I'm a normal guy, sometimes I get sad, to, I'm depressed, I need to take my depression medication, I need to take my anxiety medication, I need to go to therapy. I need to go to therapy an extra time this week because someone flipped me off
While I was
because
driving.
I cut them off
Yeah.
while I was driving. And it's, it boggles my mind the amount of prescriptions that people are on nowadays just to get through the day.
Yeah.
And I've never met someone, you can tell me if I'm wrong about this, I've never met someone who was diagnosed with depression and given medication for it that's ever been happier on medication than they were off of the medication. It's always, I have a coworker and she is on depression medication and she was switching around for a while, and it's like, this takes 4 to 6 weeks for it to kick in.
Yeah.
It's an SSRI.
Yeah.
So basically it affects the serotonin in your gut as a way to raise your happiness levels.
Shouldn't you just
essentially
eat good food? Wouldn't that do the same thing?
That would make sense, and it probably does.
Yeah.
But she's switching around, week to week to week, trying to get the levels right and trying to get the actual prescription right, and she just is never happy about it, never happy in general. And it's, the depression medication isn't helping, but it's always, I'm depressed, I'm trying to get my medication right.
Yeah.
But the depression medication isn't working.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to get it right, but it's not working. But I'm going to go to the therapist again, but that's not working either. But, and nothing's working. And it's like, at some point, should you not try something different?
Yeah, I know. I think that's a familiar experience for a lot of people, just switching from med to med.
And, if... I lost my train of thought now.
Or you're thinking about
I was gonna say-
alternatives, is where you started to say something besides doing medication.
Therapy can be a good thing, in the short term. It's I have a problem, I go in, they help me with my problem, they help me learn how to cope with my problem, or how to cope with, an ongoing issue in my life that maybe you actually do have depression, but medication isn't going to work because the SSRIs that's what I was going to say.
Mm-hmm.
The SSRIs are all built on a bed of lies, if you will. The original study that found the SSRIs work, what you always hear from depression is it's caused by a disturbance in the levels of your dopamine receptors, or it's a chemical imbalance in the brain.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it is, along those lines. But when you go in and you get diagnosed or checked for depression, what they don't do? They don't
measure any of your
they don't
levels.
test levels of anything in you. They're
Yeah.
like, you've been sad for a couple of weeks. All right, check the box.
Mm-hmm.
You have depression. Here's medication.
Yeah.
And as time has gone on, and people actually started looking back at that original study, now they found that the girl who did it, I think it was a woman. The woman who did it, she messed with some of the statistics, and it just fudged the numbers so she could get the funding for it. And that's one thing that people don't talk about. And now, granted, that's a fairly recent development in the whole thing.
You learned this in class?
No, I just saw this.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, online. I
Nice.
say online, but it was from an actual legitimate news source, not just some blog somewhere.
Nice, yeah.
But I saw that study of the new study of looking at the old study, and it's just it doesn't make a lot of sense how people thought about it in the first place, me included. I heard this from day one. It's a chemical imbalance in the brain.
Mm-hmm.
But then everything, I'm a psychology major, and I never thought that it's a chemical imbalance in the brain, but you're not going to test the chemicals to know that I'm depressed.
Can they test the chemicals? Are we able to do
I
that?
don't know. I think you can, but it's
it's
not common. That's for sure. I think it's like with a blood draw. They can test
blood drawn. I just looked up.
Yeah.
You can draw blood draw. You can test serotonin at least. I'm sure you can test dopamine.
But
and all that
how do you know? Let's say hypothetically it is caused by a chemical imbalance in the brain.
What's a normal level though?
And what's a normal level? But also, can you just depress it from the outside without the test? Can you just say, oh yeah, I've been sad. Your girlfriend broke up with you, and then a week later your mom died, and then a week later your rent is due but you don't have enough money, and then a week later your transmission goes out on your car.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, yeah, I've been depressed for longer than this 2-week criteria. I've been sad because a whole bunch of things just happened.
Mm-hmm.
Is that depression? Well, no, it's not depression.
That's just a shitty month.
Yeah, that's a whole bunch of bad things just happened in a row.
Yeah.
Give it some time. Go to therapy for a couple weeks to help yourself get through it, and you'll be fine. You'll learn to cope with it in the future. Cope with bad things in the future. It's just
get yourself a little toolkit.
There's better ways. Yeah.
Yeah.
There are better ways to deal with all that stuff, and I just don't like the. I'm sure it has something to do with the pharmaceutical industry.
Oh yeah, I was talking to somebody, one of my family members, over Thanksgiving break, and it was just insane to me. And I gotta look up the number again.
Did you tell him about the Mark Cuban pharmaceutical company where he'll do the off-brand drugs for a 15% increase in price, and you have to pay shipping?
No.
But that's it. It's like he'll get the drug for call it $3, and he'll do a 15% markup so that he can make money. So that he can continue.
Oh, I did hear about this, but this is
then
what I was talking about.
You pay that base plus 15, and then you pay shipping.
Yeah, that's cool.
I mean, you still need a prescription.
So you don't have those like EpiPen guys or whatever it was.
Yeah, you're not paying $1,000 for your pill that cost the company $3 to make.
Yeah.
You're paying $4 for your pill that cost the company $3 to make.
Well, that's cool. But what I was talking about was just like the FDA. I'm pretty sure, and I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it's probably because Big Pharma, there's a ton of money in it, but they'll approve drugs like so fast that in over the last 10 years at least, more than 14,000 drugs have been recalled.
Yeah.
And then what was it in 2022? 912 drugs were recalled in just 2022, which is just insane to me. How can you mess up that many times with something that you're giving people to put into their bodies?
Well, it's not that they're messing up, it's that companies pay to just have it rubber stamped.
Yeah.
They don't actually do testing.
So they don't even care.
If they do testing, it's like, I'm going to do this testing so that I can say I'm doing testing, and it's 3 people.
Mm-hmm.
And then if one of them gets sick or has a bad reaction, they toss that one person. They're like, yeah, we're still doing the testing. You can just, here's $100. You just rubber stamp that and send it through.
Yeah, well, now you're seeing ads.
It's way more than 100, but...
Yeah, now there's ads on TV, though, where it's like, did your mother take Tylenol while you were in the womb? You may be entitled to financial compensation.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God.
There's a lot of things that will affect you in the womb that don't really affect you outside of it.
Yeah.
Take mercury.
Yeah.
For instance, it's super toxic in the womb. You come out with all sorts of funky defects. Or there was one, it was a morning sickness pill. I don't remember when. It might have been the 60s. It was a morning sickness pill, and it was super inconsistent, though, of some women would have crazy birth defects, and some would be totally fine. And what they ended up doing was they found that there's a 3-week period where if you take it, then your baby's going to have crazy birth defects, but if you take it before or after that, then it's oh, you're fine. You don't get morning sick anymore.
Huh.
Yeah, there's weird stuff like that. Sometimes it's a good drug and it actually does what it's supposed to, but then there's one wonky side effect.
Yeah.
That every now and again you need to adjust kind of how you recommend it.
I'm just glad I don't have to make the decisions.
Yeah, I think we should shut the pharmaceutical industry down. That's just my thought, though.
Yeah.
Or at least, have a massive restructuring
There's everything.
in some way.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really messy. And then there's like all the healthcare stuff, or not healthcare, insurance. I mean.
Insurance is so bad.
Yeah, dude. My brother he has Crohn's.
Yeah.
And whatever injection he has to do like every month without insurance, it'd be like $20,000 every month. And it took a long time, and you need to try several different I think they're steroids, several different medications before he got to this one. And like the doctors knew from the beginning that this expensive one was going to be the one that he needed, but the insurance companies were like, no, you need to do the cheaper ones first. So they basically put my brother's body through fucking hell, giving him these shitty steroid drugs. Like, they giving him rashes, making him feel shitty all the time for months, just so that they can say it didn't work, we need this one. So then they finally approved it, and it's like, the poor dude, he's not even 18 years old, and he's like, it sucks.
Yeah, he's gone through the pain of a 36-year-old with Crohn's.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty messed up.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I understand to an extent of, like, hey, I don't want to pay, $20,000 a shot.
Yeah.
When I could pay $300 a shot.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, if there's only one thing that's going to work, and there's only one thing that's going to work,
if a doctor says that it's the one thing that's going to work, I think we should have doctors who would make truthful decisions like that.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, then they should be on it right away. But
the struggle with that, though, is how do you know that the doctor is going to make truthful decisions like that?
Well, then you just, that's a whole can of worms that you can't never answer.
Yeah. Did you know that medical malpractice is the third leading cause of death in the United States?
Wow, no.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. Medical malpractice, I think one of my neighbors who got busted for writing false scripts for people back home, but yeah. So do they include overdoses in that, or?
I would assume so, but I don't know.
I don't know.
I didn't actually look into that stat at all.
It's still insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. But, speaking of fake stats, I hate statistics because they're always used to get, someone's
attention. They're like buzzwords.
Well, yeah. But it's always used to further someone's, cause. It's never just here's the stat. It's, here's the stat, but, we included this one extra year because it's gonna change something.
Yeah.
Here's the stat, but it's funky a little bit. We messed with it just a little bit to agree with us.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the leading cause of death in children. People are always saying that gun deaths is one of them, the number one leading cause of death in children. But that's only if you include teenagers through the age of 19.
No, and most people wouldn't consider 19
a
kid anymore, but.
Yeah, usually the cutoff is 18 or 17, because 18 is an adult. But then also people don't account for kids who are in gang violence, in gang areas. It's you can include those numbers, but you have to put the little asterisk there of, X amount of deaths are from children who are voluntarily in gangs.
Yeah, I suppose you could probably argue, are they voluntarily in gangs? But besides that, yeah, I know what you mean.
And then it also includes, this goes for adults also, it includes suicides.
Oh, yeah.
Which, that's a whole problem in and of itself.
Yeah. But
suicides account for, a huge majority of gun deaths anyways. So if you take that out, the number drops by, 50% or something.
It is kind of interesting. Well, it's interesting. It's kind of fun how you can mess with numbers. It can be dangerous too.
Yeah, I also saw one about global warming and the temperature fluctuations, and it was this scientist who studies that specifically. But there's a name for the graph that people always use when they show global warming, and they call it the hockey stick graph, because it's shaped like a hockey stick. It's kind of steady. And then right as soon as
straight up.
Yeah. I don't know, the Industrial Revolution or
Yeah.
so. It's just like a very sudden increase.
Yeah.
But apparently they took out a bunch of years.
Oh,
And
really?
and flattened out the years before.
Hmm.
And then that way it just had that sharp increase.
So it looks a little less gradual.
Yeah, but in reality, it's like we're actually, what is it? We're in I think it's a little ice age.
Yeah, well,
Or something like
I'm
that.
not sure about the Ice Age thing. I know that we're in the middle of a mass extinction.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Of who? Of what?
Yeah.
Ants.
What was? There's a name for it. What
Hopefully
is?
it's ants. I hate ants.
You hate ants?
I hate ants so much. They're so annoying. They just like get everywhere all the time. No matter how much you try and get rid of them, they just come back. I think it's probably, here's a conspiracy for you. The companies, have you ever had someone like come knock on your door and they're like, hey, I'm with X and X company, and what we do is we treat your lawn and we'll, spray your house and everything to get rid of all the bugs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we've never had that done, but I would be almost willing to bet that they have something that, like, it'll kill bugs for 6 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever, however long before they come out, and then it'll change.
Yeah, I wouldn't
to,
be
attract
surprised.
them back.
Yeah.
Either that, or they have a list of people who are gonna hire them.
Yeah.
Or, have them on a payroll, and then that a couple weeks before they are due to come back out and spray, they'll just come out in the middle of the night and there were a couple of queen ants out there and just
Yeah. Nice.
like Dale from King of the Hill.
Oh, nice. One thing about ants though, and I'm not a communist, but I feel like
that's always a good preface
I feel
to
like
something.
I
I'm
feel
not
like
communist,
I feel
but-
like ants kind of prove that communism can work. Like every individual in an ant colony has an assigned role. They do their job. They take care of each other. No questions asked. And ants are fucking everywhere. There are way more ants than us. They're gonna outlive us for sure.
It's not communism. That
What is
would
it?
be a monarchy.
Is it monarchy? You think?
Because they got the queen ant.
I read, what the fuck did I read where it was some communist guy, philosopher guy, and just talking about ants the whole time then.
I don't know, but he's wrong. It's a monarchy. And a monarchy can work also, but then people are going to overthrow the queen
Yeah.
or the king and, behead them. We should bring back beheadings.
You think?
But they're going to overthrow the monarch. Communism works in theory, and it might work with other species, but not with humans, because humans have desire and free will, and some people's desire and free will is to remove that of others.
Yeah. But you're kind of talking about what philosophers would call the state of nature. There's 3 big guys. There's Hobbes, Locke, and Rousseau.
Yeah.
Hobbes, I can't remember Locke off the top of my head, I'm forgetting, but Hobbes says that the state of nature for human beings is a state of war. And every man for themselves, you're looking out for number one, that's it.
Yeah.
Rousseau says that the state of nature is actually human beings want to be with each other, close to each other, but it's in small groups, small communities with not much contact with people outside of their community. And it's once you start to shove communities together, that's when you have your problems.
Yeah.
And I wish I could remember what Locke's was off the top of my head. I want to say it was somewhere in between, but I don't remember.
That wouldn't surprise me. I mean, he's the one who had the idea of life, liberty, and property.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good point, though. I would be okay with a small group of people, but once you start putting me into a city, I hate it. I just want to leave.
Yeah.
It's like the rats. What was that experiment where they built a rat city? I think we've talked about this before.
Vaguely remember
But-
this.
Some scientists took rats, male and female, I think it was a population of 100, and put them in what's essentially a rat city. All I don't want to call it the slums, but it's probably a very good equivalent to what it would end up being. So it's it's all one building,
Mhm.
one housing for them, and they provided food, they provided water, and the rats were allowed to just kind of do whatever they wanted. They could procreate, they could just do whatever.
Mhm.
And as time went on and the population grew, and the rats were happy for a while, but then it eventually devolved into kind of what society is today, of the most attractive, if you will, rats, female rats. I mean, most attractive
female rats.
Yeah, it had like
somebody's out there saying, nope, that's not an attractive female rat, but that one is.
Oh, for sure. It's the guy with the McChicken.
Yeah.
That's such a gross video.
I don't even want to know.
So the attractive female rat had like kind of a harem of the lesser female rats around, and then she would get top pick of all the male rats. And then the female rats would kind of live in a little group off by themselves, and there'd be another one, and another one. And the male rats would be the what would they call it today? The gooners. Maybe they live in their little hidey hole and just jerk off all day.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, but then there'd be like the gym rat bros or gym bro rats, and
I need to see this.
Yeah, they just fight each other all day, and it evolved into chaos because there was no purpose for the rats.
Yeah.
I think that's part of it. If there's no purpose, then what are you gonna do? You're gonna sit there and you're gonna try and find a mate, and then you're gonna mate. You're gonna be like, well, I'm bored of this. I'm gonna go find a picture of a mate and keep trying to mate. And then you're gonna be like, I'm bored of this picture. I'm gonna draw a more extreme version of this picture. And so, well, I'm bored of this. I'm gonna go kill a guy. I'm gonna go do meth, and I'm gonna jerk off to that picture of the rat again.
While I'm on meth.
Drive down the road smoking crack.
Interesting. It's funny to picture a rat driving down the road smoking crack.
Yeah.
What kind of car do you think a rat would drive? I picture like a Dodge Caravan.
You think so?
Mm-hmm. Like a Dodge minivan type thing. No,
the rat would drive a Dodge, but a Charger Hellcat.
No comment.
That's fitting. Rat driving a cat crashes. Stand a whole rat funeral for this rat that died smoking crack while driving its cat.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's fast cat. I'd get a Hellcat though.
Yeah.
Not as my first car. Not as my first fast car. But I'd have at least one if I could have like a bunch of fast cars. Hellcat would be cool.
That would be cool.
If I could only have one, I'd get a Porsche 911 something.
Nice.
It'd be fun.
Yeah. 69 Chevelle.
Yeah, that would be cool too.
But I would want to full restore it myself. Just get a frame, maybe get like an old engine, rebuild the whole engine, redo the whole car.
Yeah. Okay, I guess it's too hard to pick just one because there's so many cool cars.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be a lot of fun. I saw, I can't remember the name of it, but some company is now making Hayabusa carts. I'm sure there's probably several companies. A Hayabusa, it's a Suzuki motorcycle. I don't know if they used to be the fastest. They're really fast though. Huge engine. I think you could get a 1600 cc. I know you can for sure get 1000 cc's. But so they're taking the engines from these 1000 cc Hayabusas and they're putting them on essentially go-karts. Really, really nice go-karts. But this is a 200 horsepower kart that weighs less than 1,000 pounds. It says it has the same power to weight ratio as a Bugatti Veyron, which is so stupid fast. And so I'd like to get one of those too.
You just lightly tap the gas pedal and it flips over on you.
Oh yeah. No, you lightly tap the gas pedal and then no one sees you anymore. You're just gone. You're a little speck, way down.
Speedy Gonzalez.
Mm-hmm. I bet that thing screams too. Because the company was like, I should find the video and show you, but the company was like, and for a few grand more, you can add a turbo. It was so cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it would be fun. And this company was making specific, they had a production model that they're making, but if you look up Hayabusa cart, you're going to find a lot of cool videos and pictures of people with a pipe bender and a TIG welder making some pretty sweet go-karts, but yeah. Well, that's about it for this episode of the Lateral Move podcast. Thank you all for listening.
If, after listening to all of our nonsense, you feel like you're not in the same place you were, but you might as well be sure to tune in next week and don't forget to like and subscribe.
And drop a comment below your favorite comedian's name and your favorite comedy special.